Hello again. So quickly before we started this video, I wanted to, very publicly state that the inspiration for this video came from Let's Talk Elections. We'll be doing a similar but different video later, but looking at the topic of abortion and how it could impact the 2022 midterms, I thought it was only right, although we will be doing it in a different manner. To credit Let's Talk Elections, brilliant channel, please do subscribe to them, for their excellent video looking at the 2022 Senate elections if Roe v. Wade is overturned. And I hope they don't mind me borrowing this idea and running with it and seeing what conclusions I can extrapolate from it. So, on that note, let's go over and look at what's going to happen. So, I'm not going to look at specifically if Roe v. Wade is overturned. I'm going to look at what will happen in the 2022 midterm elections if, either because Roe's been overturned or there's much more lenience in the law for pro-life governors and pro-life state legislatures to basically de facto ban abortion, even if it's, 3 weeks you can have an abortion or something like that, something ridiculous. I want to have a look at basically if abortion becomes front and centre and the pro-choice movement is as motivated to vote as the pro-life movement historically and very successfully has been in elections at the state, local and federal level. See how that will impact the 2022 midterms. So, as of right now, what's going to happen in the 2022 midterms? By the way, this map, this is not an accurate depiction of the 2020 result. These numbers are correct, but it's not an exact science because it's a very tricky graph to work with. There are so many spaces to fill in. I've not worked out a formula to accurately, and again, the districts are going to change, so ignore where it's blue and red. That's just completely irrelevant. Ignore that. Look at the numbers. We're going to basically look at the numbers, whereas as with the Senate, obviously we can be absolutely precise. Sorry about that, and I'm sure over time we will improve with regards to how we look at districts, and I will get less rusty at this sort of thing. So, as of right now, the House, what we're going to see, we're probably going to see a sweep, aren't we? We're going to see a red sweep, a decent red sweep. I mean, as of right now, with Biden's approval ratings where they are, the questions being raised about his presidency, we'll probably see something like this. On a good day, even lower Democrat turnout could be something like this. Although, of course, we are a long way from anything like that as of right now, although we are, of course, heading that way. So, as of right now, simply by nature of the swing, simply by nature of what a cliff edge the House is on, we're going to see the House go Republican. The question is it going to be a narrowly Republican House with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, or is it going to, and Nancy Pelosi as Minority Leader, or is it going to be a heavily Republican House with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker and Nancy Pelosi as Minority Leader? Although that being said, she'll probably go, won't she? She'll probably go. She won't stay around as Minority Leader for another term. Okay, so the Senate, what happens right now? Well, as of today, I think it's not looking great for the Democrats. I think you could probably see a result maybe along these lines. Something like this. I think that's what you probably see right now. Maybe more something like this. We're going to be more ambitious. At the very best, something like this. So as of right now, we are looking at a set of results, set of likely results that are absolutely negative for the Democratic Party. They're going to lose the House, they're going to lose the Senate. It's not going to be a sweep in the Senate. It may not be a sweep in the House. It's not going to be good. It's too soon to tell if it's going to be a wave year. We don't know that yet, but it could be a red wave year. Certainly won't be a blue wave year. Number of reasons for that. Democratic turnout among groups that are more likely to vote Democrat, poorer voters, the young, ethnic minorities, they're not going to turn out. Older, conservative voters, whiter voters, they're going to turn out in the same numbers as they always do. And they're going to be extra motivated, including the lower income, lower education status sort of Trump voters who swung from the Democratic Party, sort of the blue-collar, white, slightly older Trump voters, who generally don't have a college degree, that sort of demographic. They will also turn out more than they normally would because Trump and the Republicans, when Trump is campaigning for them, draws them out to vote in greater numbers. So we're going to see the Republicans sweep. If, and this is a big if the question of abortion, one way or another, becomes central to 2022, if foreign policy concerns or economic concerns are swept to the side in the midst of a culture war over abortion and the fundamental question of a woman's right to choose, that's the most favourable ground that Democrats could possibly ask for. Let's look at this. This is Gallup. This is recently. Gallup are a pretty accurate pollster. So we can look at the polling. 58% of the American public oppose overturning Roe v. Wade, and 32% support it. Now, if we get further in, 56% are opposed to banning abortions after the 18th week of pregnancy. So think how they might feel about the 6th week. 58% oppose banning abortions once the heartbeat of the fetus can be detected. That's a prime Republican thing, and you'll see even more of that if there's even more room for pro-life legislatures to legislate on this matter. Look, all these policies vociferously opposed, right, by a decent majority. And you could look at this, even here. Do you support overturning Roe v. Wade? Not a majority of Republicans. They do support the ban after 18 weeks. That's what you'd expect. They do support the heartbeat ban. They don't support the genetic disorders ban. However, if we look at the numbers, it becomes apparent, even some Republicans, little more than half are in favour of prohibiting abortion after the 18th week. Just shy of Republicans would like to see laws banning abortion in the case of genetic disorders. 46% of Republicans favour overturning it, 43% are opposed. Those are big numbers, right? So basically, 95% of Republican politicians favour it? Not all of their voters. So you have got a coalition of people in America, including in red states, that will not be happy if they think abortion rights are in terminal threat, right, of being completely revoked across the country. You're going to see massively boosted Democratic turnout in a way you would not expect in a midterm election, in a way you didn't get in 2010 when Obama was swept out, in a way you're not going to get in 2022 as of right now, but in a way you did in 2018. So it could be like 2018, but with the Democrats incumbent. That would be huge for the Democratic Party. So what's going to happen? I think if, as I say, it's a big if, this issue becomes central to the campaign, you'll see a few things happen. You are going to see Democrats potentially hold the House, either stem the damage to, minor gains, or if turnout is up enough, it's all about turnout, maybe they'll expand a little bit. Maybe they'll keep the House. That's a long shot, right? That is, without question, a long shot. It's not likely right now. The Senate is far more likely in this respect. Maybe we say the House does. Just, it's a red wave year. Voters swing red because they're unhappy with the Biden administration, as they always are with incumbent administrations. Republicans take the House. Fine. Great. Fully to be expected, right? So what happens then? Well, although it might stem the damage, which puts them in a favourable position to take it back when Biden or Harris are back on the ballot in 2024. What happens here? Well, what happens here is interesting. You've already got a pretty favourable map for the Democrats. So it's a pretty bad indictment that as of right now they're losing the Senate races. That's a really bad indictment of the Democratic Party from an electoral standpoint. However, if this happens, well, we know they keep these states. If we see the turnout go up and this issue becomes central, of course they keep New Hampshire. Of course they keep Georgia. The question for them then is, can they keep Florida? I think as of right now, the gravity is against them in Florida. Could they take Ohio or North Carolina? I think it really is 50-50. It could either be, more realistically, something like this. But I also think if turnout is enough, and if this issue becomes so salient, you could see something like this. And I think that would be unprecedented. I think a happy middle ground would be something like this. And I think this is, again, only if abortion becomes fully central. What Republicans and pro-lifers don't realise is, looking at the empirical data, if this becomes a referendum on Roe v. Wade, you're going to see results like this. And if the House elections become a referendum on Roe v. Wade, you may even see results like this. It's it's not good for the Republicans. They're going to achieve one of their fundamental goals, but they may be punished, including by their own voters, electorally for it. And any look at the data would indicate so. Anyway, thank you for watching. We will be back soon with another video. Later today, we will be doing a similar video. We'll be looking at what we think will happen in the midterms if, one way or another, it's pretty unlikely, but in Afghanistan, if there is a genuine 1970s-style hostage situation, basically the American public perceive the president as being weak, whether or not that's fair, on a situation in terms of foreign policy overseas, something to do with the Taliban, some sort of hostage situation that really does capture the nation in the way the hostage crisis under Jimmy Carter in the 70s did. How will that affect the midterms? Fully hypothetical, but we'll be looking at that later on. Spoiler alert, probably about the opposite of what we're looking at right now. We're all about balance on this show. We're going to look at favourable Democratic and favourable Republican scenarios, so don't at me. We are being fair. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.